Welcome to the screencast-o-matic video version of the practice problems from the notes for using factoring to solve problems. And hopefully these notes will give you a few more examples that will help you work the homework problems and also think through other problems that you might encounter. So we were on the front of the second page and we're faced with a problem with a rectangle. So my first instinct, of course, is to draw the rectangle, and I hope yours is too. Okay, originally the dimensions of a rectangle were 20 centimeters by 23 centimeters. When both dimensions are decreased by the same amount, the area of the rectangle was decreased by 120. So let's draw a new rectangle that's a lot smaller than the other one, and this rectangle is decreased from the big one by the same amount on both sides. So the area of this little rectangle is 120 centimeters squared, smaller than the big one. So let's go ahead and compute those two areas. So area, of course, is length times width, and the area of the big one is equal to, or let's say minus 120 is equal to the area of the small. Okay, so the area of the big one is 20 by 23, and we're going to subtract 120 off of that, and that will be the area of the small. So the dimensions of the small one, and I'll just put those dimensions in there. Let me do it with another color. So this dimension here is 20 minus x. So there's our x. And the dimension here is going to be 23 minus x, because it's decreased by the same dimension. So this is going to be 20 minus x and 23 minus x. So length times width of that smaller triangle. Okay, so 20 times 23 is 460 minus 120, and we can go ahead and FOIL this guy out. Here's our monkey. And this is 20 times 23 minus the outer, which is 20x, minus the inner, which is 23x, and that would be plus x squared. Okay, so let's do some combinations and some simplifications here. Negative 120 is equal to 460 minus 120, and 20 by 23 once again is 460, minus 20x, negative 20x plus negative 23x is negative 43x plus x squared. You know what? I'm just going to cancel those two guys out because they're equal, they balance. So if you subtract 460 from both sides, then they go away. So 120 is equal to negative 43x plus x squared. Okay, now our directions tell us that we're going to have collect all the terms on one side. So if we add 43x and subtract x squared, then we get negative x squared plus 43x minus 120 is equal to 0. So we're going to factor a 1 off the leading term. X squared minus 43x plus 120 is equal to 0. And now you have a trinomial that looks pretty good to factor. A times C is equal to 120. B is equal to negative 43. So you might wonder what factors of 120 add up to a negative 43. And I bet some of you have said, aha, that has got to be negative 40, negative 3. So negative 1x squared minus 3x minus 40x plus 120 equal to 0. And now we can factor by grouping. X times x minus 3 minus 40 times x minus 3. So negative 1, x minus 3, x minus 40 is equal to 0. And so either x is equal to, x minus 3 is equal to 0, or x is equal to, x minus 40 is equal to 0. So x is equal to 3, or x is equal to 40. So, interesting. So let's go up and have a look at these two solutions. See if both of these work. Okay, if I come up here, it asks for the dimensions of the new triangle. So if x were 40, then this is 20 minus x is a negative 20. That's not going to work because that's a negative length, and we can't have negative lengths. That doesn't physically exist. So 40 does not work because it produces a negative length. So 3 is the solution for x. So the length is 20 minus 3, and that's equal to 17, and the width is 23 minus 3, and that is 20. And are those in centimeters? Let's see. Those are in centimeters. So that new rectangle is 17 centimeters by 20 centimeters. Okay, I'm just going to do the setup on these, because what you have down here on these last problems, and there's the fifth answer is actually on the next page. But I'm going to do the setup because that's the hard part, and then I'm going to leave the solutions to you, because these are practices, and you can check them by the answers below. So find a positive number that is 56 less than its square. So here's our is, and that's going to be our equal. So x is 56 less than its square. So if we get this over on one side, we have 0 is equal to x squared minus x minus 56. And you're going to come out with 2 answers because that's an x squared. And you're going to have to go back to answers. And go back and ask yourself if one of those is eliminated by the problem. And I think the key word that you're going to find here to help you determine that is this word right here. Okay, for the next one, find 2 negative consecutive even integers whose product is 120. So the first integer would be, let's call it x. and then let x plus 2 be the second. Okay, so find two negative consecutive even integers. So this is the even part, because each even integer is 2 apart. Okay, so x times x plus 2 is equal to 120. So we have x squared plus 2x is equal to 120. And we move the 120 over, and we get x squared plus 2x minus 120 is equal to 0. Now once again, you're going to come out with two answers. And you're going to use these criteria up here to determine whether you need to eliminate one answer. Okay, the length of a rectangle is 8 greater than twice its width. Oh, these are our favorites. Okay, width, and it's 8 greater than twice the width. And then find the dimensions if the area is 42. So 2w plus 8 is equal to 42. And once again, once you distribute this, you're going to get 2w squared plus 8w is equal to 42. So you're going to have two answers, and you're going to need to eliminate one of those answers. And you're probably going to do that. I bet you're going to need to remember the hint on the problem number 5 on the previous page. Okay, the sum of two numbers is 12, and the sum of their squares is 74. Okay, so x plus y are two numbers, and they add up to 12. So y is equal to 12 minus x. And then the sum of their squares is the sum of the first square, sum of the second square, and that is equal to 74. So you're going to need to FOIL, combine, collect, and factor, etc. Okay, one more. A garden plot 4 meters by 12 meters has one side along a fence. The area of the garden is to be doubled by digging a border of uniform width on the other 3 sides. What should the width of the border be? Well, this is a goodie. So we have our fence, and we have our little plot, which is 4 by 12. And we want to increase that area by a factor of 3. So our original area is 4 by 12, which is 48. And our new area is equal to 48 times 3, which is, that's a 2. Nope, that is a 4. So 154. So check my math on that. Nope, it's 144. I'll check my math. So 144. And we have x and x. And I'm just going to kill this for a second and then come back with the answer. Okay, so we're adding 2 x's to 12 and only 1 x to 4. So 12 plus 2x is one factor and 4 plus x is the other. And now you're going to FOIL and combine and all of that. Thank you for listening.